And in this video I'm going to be doing a front brake pad change on a Toyota Yaris. Okay, so now I'm working on the right hand side of the car. A little tip will be to turn the steering wheel all the way to the right, so that way you get more access to the bolts behind here, because this is what you need to remove. You're going to have to remove, actually no, we're going to use my normal method. We're going to loosen the top one and take out the bottom one, so that way you can just swivel this up. So we're going to loosen this one off and take out the bottom one. When loosening this, think this is a 14mm, correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to need a 17mm on this one to stop this from spinning, and we can swivel it up. Okay, so as you can see, got a bit more access here, a lot more room in the arch here. This is a W reg Toyota Yaris, so maybe it's different, but I needed a 15 and a 14. So the 15 goes on the front and the 14 goes just behind it, as you can see there. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this one nice and straight, and this is the one that I'm going to turn clockwise, remember, not anti-clockwise, very important, clockwise, to loosen it off. So again, this is my normal method. As you can see, I've cracked the top one loose. It can now spin quite freely. You can see there, that is spinning. This bolt was a bit tricky, so I did need to break out the ratchet. So I got the ratchet on that, and I had more leverage to push down on it. And then this one is now free. As you can see, there's a little gap in there, so there's loads of room for that one to spin out. Now I'm going to take out the bottom one. I'm going to take it all the way out. Okay, so as you can see there's the bolt. I've taken this one out. There we go, I've taken this one out fully. So now I can use my hand, I might have to hit it if it's a bit rusty, to now swivel this up. That way I don't have to tie it to the cold spring up here, because I'm swiveling it out and it's just going to rest on this thing here. So there we go. So I've popped that loose. So now what I'm going to do here, swivel it up, boom, it's resting there. There's not much weight or pressure on the brake lines, and I can take out these naughty, dusty old brake pads. There we go. One on the front and then one on the back. Inner and the outer. Gosh, there was nothing here. This would have been like Bambi on ice. So really important to remember which way was which. So this part was on the outside. You can see there's a little tab there. This one doesn't have one. So when you're replacing it, this one doesn't. This one does. Sorry, this one doesn't. That one goes on the inside, and that one goes on the outside. Alright, so the next thing you just can see we've got to do is this piston needs to be pushed in. So this needs to be pushed in, so that way you can fit the brake pads on, because as you can see the piston was pressed. Last one I had to stop the car by pressing the brake pedal. With that, I'm going to use this piece of wood and this G-clamp here. All I'm going to do, I'm going to put the piece of wood up against the piston there, and then I'll get the G-clamp around the back of it there and use this side and start twisting it, so that way it's going to force the piston back into the little brake housing there. And there we go, nice and flat piston there. That has gone in. Next, we're going to get the brake pads, use a bit of copper grease on them to stop them from seizing and squeaking, and we're going to match them up with the old ones to make sure that they're the correct size. Right, so next thing to do is just check that they all match up. You can see this size is this size, that size is that size. We're all good here. So next, copper grease on the back of all of them, just around here where it's going to meet, and on the edges here, and on the same on this one. Slabber some on the back, and then make sure the one with the little brake pad wear indicator goes on the inside, and this one goes on the outside. Let's go. Yep, so that's it. That's the inner one done, nice and greased up in the grooves there. Especially, you can get a wire brush and clean up these little holders just in case there's any grime in there. And then the other side is done as well. So remember, that's how it is. The round side, it should match the shape of the disc, so it should be nice and round. Don't get the short side confused with the long side. Short side on the in, long side on the out. Once that's done, all you're going to do, you're going to swing this back around. Make sure that goes over it. If it's a bit funny, probably because I'm using one hand, give it a little shimmy, and that should go and sit. Also, before I forget, make sure you watch this video before you start doing it on your car. When pushing back this brake piston, try to go up the top into the bonnet and take the cap off the brake fluid reservoir, so that way if you're pushing any fluid and there's any left in the lines, it doesn't pop the lid off and start squirting everywhere. It'll just come up a bit, but it can breathe. That's the main thing. So yeah, I'll sort that out and I'll put the screw back in. Okay, so now that's done, what you want to do again, you want to get your 15 on this side and your 14 over here. You can use a ratchet if you want, like I am. I'm using the ratchet here just to make sure you hold this screw in, hold this nut with the spanner, and make sure you put the top one and the bottom one in nice and tight. Okay, so now that's done, all you want to do now is go back on the top, make sure you put the cap back on the brake fluid reservoir, and then pump the brake until the pistons come and it's met up with the brake pads, and everything should be nice and tight in there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.